What's up, everyone? Josh here at Ohio Fish Rescue, and today we have yet another flood. So this one is brought to you in part by Mr. Doobie. Oh, what did Doobie do? So you know you have your favorite host here. Sorry, Dad.
And go.
Let me do this. I ain't got the arapaima neck, but these chicken breasts will help.
Are you done yet?
You around if you don't stop it.
All right, so my clip got lost, but here it is again. Mr. Doobie took this hose that's tied on here. He grabbed it from the bottom and started yanking on it and pulled it through and pulled it out of the back of the 4400 to where 1,800 gallons an hour was pumping up from this pump that's in the monster pond here, just pumping onto the floor in the fish room. So it was going for quite some time because my dad was out on a rescue and I come to do some filter maintenance and I walk in to find the mess. But it's all right, we will get it cleaned up and then we'll be on to clean some filters. So what we have on the agenda today is we have a bunch of FX filters behind this 1,000-gallon tank. It's going both to the 4400 and to this 1,000-gallon up there. And then we have this filter right on top, which will end up getting cleaned along with the FX5s. All right, so as you can see, I did a little bit of cleaning of the filters, but you can already notice a big difference on a couple of the tanks in water quality. Now the windows are still dirty, so that means, you see a little fog from the algae and, biofilm on the glass. But what I'm talking about is the clarity of the water and the particulates in the water. We had cleaned all the FX6s and FX5s on the back of this filter, and I also cleaned the filters that are on top of the tank. So just a little bit at a time. The 1,000 is already starting to clear back up, and I still have a few more filters to clean up. You can see the water on the ground is slowly drying up as well. But I have probably 20 more or so FX6s to be able to clean out. And then once that's done, I will work on cleaning the glass. But while we're looking over here at these arapaimas, you guys see that this is Beavis over here, and we've got this other arapaima that just came in. I told you I was going to fatten them up. Well, look at that fat boy. Look at that belly on him. He is going to just shoot out. So them arapaimas are doing fairly well. What's up, Doobie? Doobie is still looking for a home. So if any of you guys are watching this video and know anyone who would give Doobie a great home, then we would be much appreciated. So we've got lots to do. There's FX6s all down this entire line here. There's a couple on these tanks here. And then the big majority is on this 750 right here. There is a ton of FX6s underneath this tank and below the 650, the stingray tank over there. All right, so we're not perfect all the time about getting videos out on time. This one has been sitting in my camera roll for quite some time, but I am still working on it nonetheless. Mr. Doobie did find an awesome home. You can see the water's clearing up. I still have to clean all the gunk on the outside because every time I feed, I'm dripping, shrimp water, nasty water over the face of the tank. So I got to go through and clean that every couple of days as well. So we got that little dirtiness on the glass. Same thing over here. But Mr. Doobie did find a home. He is now gone. He is living up in Michigan. So glad to hear that. He is living with 2 other dogs. He got an appointment to go and get snipped. So that is a positive outcome here at the rescue. So now we are cleaning up after him, and I am getting back to cleaning filters here at Ohio Fish Rescue. But I want to give you guys a little update on the tigerfish. The tigerfish is doing well. I have seen him eat, and it seems like everyone is getting along in the 4400. But I wanted to bring you guys a little bit of bad news as well. You guys know I've been saying for a couple of months now, I think our boy Anubis is going to go ahead and pass on. Well, you know, a lot of the fish in this tank are very, 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 very old. We've had Anubis now in our care for, I want to say, close to 3 or 4 years. And he was already 18 years old when we got him. So he was a very, very old fish. You guys can see that Gibiceps pleco on the back wall there, you know, just going to town. But I come out today and I finally see Mr. Anubis up in the top corner. So I'm going to go ahead and get him out of this tank and go ahead and bury him in the backyard. But that is, you know, stuff that we have to deal with here at the rescue. We get old fish in, sometimes old fish die. So it happens. You can't get broken up about it. But it is a little bit sad to see a fish that you've had for so long end up passing on. But he lived a nice long life, and I've been showing you guys for a while now reasons why I think his body was shutting down, and I think he's finally had enough. But look at that fly river turtle right there. Awesome little guy. He's just, you know, they're peeping up. What's going on? What's going on, Dad? Nothing much, buddy. I'll feed you guys in just a little bit. But my next go is to get under this 1,000-gallon stand, crawl in that little access hole, come over to the other side of the tank and grab the FX6 that's out of here. I'm no longer going to keep it underneath the stand because I'm getting too big, too old. I don't want to keep crawling under there. So we're going to take it out and put it behind the tank with the rest of the FX filters. All right, you guys missed the fun part of me crawling under there, but I got the FX5 out. It's clean. It's now behind the 1,000-gallon. But a little lesson here. So, you know, you can use whatever type of hose on an FX5, but this is that clear PVC or vinyl tubing. You don't want to use this. It works good at first because it's nice and flexible, but over time, it starts to turn hard and it gets brittle. So you can see right here, there was a kink on the top of the hose there, and then where it went into the fish tank, I can't unbend that. It bends right back. It is stuck in a kinked position, and this is hard, old, you know, just degraded vinyl tubing that cannot be used for much of anything else no more. So if anything, I can cut it here and cut the kink out there. It's still going to have this little bit of shape in there. So you don't really want to use this style of tubing on your FX5. Just go ahead and spend a little bit of money and either get that black corrugated tubing or buy the tubing that comes with the FX6 and FX5s. They work wonders. So just overnight, this tank cleared up a ton. You can see it's a lot more buffered and sparkling clean. Well, that's because, you know, the filtration's back on. You know, each tank has its individual, you know, filtration on it, but it also has the pass-through. So if the filters end up getting clogged or not running, it still has the pass-through, and vice versa. If the pass-through happens to stop for whatever reason, it has the individual filters on it. So for a while there, I didn't know the FX6 underneath the stand had stopped working, which now you can see all them air bubbles are now being shot out. That's because it's back on. So that had a big part into why there was so many particulates in the water here. Well, I climbed through the little tiny access hole and got under there and got it out, and I fixed the problem for future endeavors. So now this tank can go back to sparkling clean. We want to take this piece of driftwood out of here. It is just collecting, you know, dirt, and there's actually blackbeard algae growing on it right there. So we don't want that in our tank. It's kind of an eyesore and just collects dirt up top. There's only the eel, and of course the biter that sits on it right here. We were hoping that it would sink, and you flip it upside down, it's kind of like a cave, but it is taking ages for it to sink. And you know what? That'll happen sometimes. You go with a lighter piece of wood and it just won't sink. Unlike this piece of wood over here that is a naturally heavy piece of wood and will just sink on its own. Mr. Arapaima wants some food, but these guys are doing great. But the next filters to be clean, which I'll do over the next few days, are the ones down this center line, and then the 2200 and the 750 over there. There is one underneath the discus tank, and then there is one over here in that back corner, which I will get to when we move these tanks around. You can see the stand is in here. Mr. Doobie is gone, so we can go ahead and start moving these tanks around. That 110/75 I want to move right here, and of course move this one down to the end down there. It'll open up a few more tanks for quarantine and whatnot, and it'll help us in the long run here. So we also got this tank down here. This is a 8-foot, I think it's a 240, looks like it's 2 foot wide, maybe 27 inches tall. But that is going to go right here and replace this 150. So I'll be getting rid of this tank here, or possibly take this one over to my house. I'm not sure. But that is the next goal. You can see we kind of just stacked them in here. We didn't want them to go be outside in the exposure of the sunlight and the weather. We did get rid of one more ray, so we are down to the one that we are planning on keeping, and one more female. But they are doing great. They're eating a ton, and everyone seems to be doing well, especially the cichlid tank over here. But today was a day of frustration cleaning all of them filters, but it is much needed and worth it at times, you know, just to know your fish are happy and healthy. Everyone looks great in here, and I made it easier for myself going forward. Let me go ahead and walk back here. So if I go back behind this 1,000-gallon, there was, you know, a bunch of crap everywhere. So now I have it to where I can access my main pump going up to the 4400. I can have access to my FX6 here, access to the FX6 here. I left my spool of airline tubing, so when I go in the tank, I just pull extra air hose if I need it. I've got the 2 FX6s on the 4400, and then I've got my compressor for the air, and of course this is a backup generator. But I've got all my power strips up on the wall, so if anything, you know, leaks or splashes, it won't get to my power and trip my GFCIs. So we've got a little bit up there, and also I use my FX6s as steps, and now I can get up on top of the 4400. I can access my pump controls, which that one actually came from Reef Breeders. If you guys seen them, they are a great company. We turned their pump, it was a DC powered variable drive pump, and we used it to run our filtration box up on top of the 4400 over there, and it has been working flawlessly. But if I ever need to get and maintain any of my airline tubing, as you can see, we've got one running this end going all the way around the fish room, and one coming up this end back feeding it that way. So we got 2 pumps running the entire fish room, which is, you know, that redundancy that I always tell everyone about. And along with the filter maintenance, I replace these socks at intervals. I don't replace them all 9 at the same time anymore. I will do 3 at a time. So I'll do this row, the center row, or the far row. So you can always get the buffered polish of a clogged sock, getting all the fine particulates. And then you've got the newer sock, like you can see here that it's down farther than that sock. This one is a newer sock, and it is still catching big debris, to where that one right there is plugged up and only catching the fine particles. So by cycling it through like that, you're doing a little bit of both with all the water that's coming through the filtration. So there you have it. The tanks are starting to get buffered, polished, clean, which we like here at Ohio Fish Rescue. Once all the tanks are clean, I'll go around and polish the glass, and then they'll be back to their former glory. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We will catch you in the next one. Stay fishy, my friends.